एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभਉ निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद। धन धन गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जी महाराज, धन गुरु गोबिंद सिंह साहिब सच्चे पातशाह। हवाई बंदगी याबुर दर वजूद मरा, पगरने ज़ौक़े चुनी आमदैन नमूद मरा। काहिर बन खो जन जाई, सरब निवासी सदा लेपा, तोहे संग समाई। बाणी गुरु गुरु है बाणी, बिच बाणी अमृत सारे। धन धन गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जी, धन गुरु गोबिंद सिंह साहिब महाराज। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। We are visiting the Bani of the Japji, the first Bani of the Guru Granth. Japji is a journey into the internal self, a relationship between the ego and its roots, its mool. Understanding the Japji needs contemplative energy. We need to connect with the Guru through Japji. Jap meaning to meditate on the Shabad. Maharaj has introduced us to many aspects of the self and explained how the journey of the spiritual journey happens, what transforms within us. We've done 24 Pauris, Maharaj. One of the most important aspects of what we've gone through so far has in it the concept of hukam. Hukam is the entire creation, its laws, its rules, and what governs us all, what surrounds us and what is not definable, but can be experienced, that which is beyond the ego. Then Maharaj has also introduced us to the concept of what should I offer the Creator. फिर क्या गे रखिए जित दिसे दरबार, मुखी बोलन बोलिए जित सुन तरे प्यार. Maharaj says to contemplate in the early hours, 3 hours before sunrise, and make your entire life an Amrit Vela. Go beyond death and a joy and happiness within us, which exists through the Jap, through Japji. Maharaj took us through the bodies of Sunna and Manna, Suniye, Maniye, and then Panch. How listening transforms us. What we listen to, what we absorb in our mind through our senses, that's what we become. That is Sunna. And when we listen in complete absorption, we listen in complete thoughtless mind, then we transcend our ego self. Then Maharaj talks to us about Manna and Maniye and Panch. The exalted, the rewarded, the individuals whose barriers have been opened. We are now on the 22nd Pauri, Maharaj. And this is a very interesting Pauri because it has its relationship to the visit of Maharaj at Baghdad. That is where this was recited. And when Bhai Gurdas mentions this Pauri, he says, Sun saman hua jahanna, ditti bang nivaz kar, sun saman hua jahanna. That when Maharaj called out in prayer, in song, then everything went silent. But there are 2 reasons for that. One is the fact that Maharaj is in a state of being which is one, which is in dhyan. So it brings everything around itself in dhyan. All the minds which are absorbing the Shabad sung by Guru Nanak Maharaj are all connected to its root and become contemplated, become silent, become sahaj. This is the presence of Guru. वो भी चंदन होए रहे बसे जो चंदन पास. The trees around the sandalwood tree are not sandalwood, but they still become sandalwood because they are so exposed to sandalwood. Similarly, when a person who is spiritually evolved, his presence affects everyone around him. And if they absorb, if they are in sunna, sunniye, then they will listen, and then in their absorption they will change. This is one of the ways in which we transform ourselves. The Guru Granth Maharaj is mentioning this often, that when you do seva of somebody who is a sant, then you become contemplative, you become meditative, you become spiritually evolved by this mere seva which we are doing. Provided it is done in dhyan and in love. These are the essential aspects of a spiritual journey. Maharaj talks about pakha, pani, piso, santage. Just doing simple sevas like providing air, cleaning the surroundings, giving water, doing seva to the sant. Basically being in attention to the sant. In dhyan with the sant, you become one. Similarly with the Guru. When we are in the presence of Guru, then we become transformed. We become also one-minded. We become focused. And this is one way in which how we can go into a spiritual journey. Sangat of the Guru changes the Sikh and makes him one mind with the Guru. There are enough examples of this in our history, and there are enough opportunities we have seen in where the Sikh has become so much part of the Guru that he has the power to say whatever the Guru wishes, and it happens. Basically, he is an extension of the Guru himself. So Maharaj has talked to us so far about many aspects of creation, of Kudrat. Today he is talking about nature and the vastness of nature. There are two primary energies which exist around us. One is our ego, which is separated from its own roots. And this journey of the ego is transient, it keeps changing, and it is temporary. It's not permanent. The ego is not a permanent phenomena, so much as we would like it to be. It is an opportunity for us to understand where the ego comes from and what is the source of this ego. That is the Kudrat. Now we can miss this opportunity completely if we don't connect to our own source. And we can avail of this opportunity and connect to our source. If we have availed of this opportunity, the ego becomes relevant permanently. Then it doesn't get destroyed. But if we don't, the ego changes into another, it transforms into another changing identity. It takes its own cycle according to the karma, which is what was told to us a few podis before. Punni papi akhar nahe, kar karna likh le jao, ape bij ape hi khao, nanak hukmi avo jao. This is the wandering of nature, Maharaj. So, one of the evils which we suffer from is wandering. We are all seeking permanent happiness, unconditional happiness. And we don't have it in the sphere where we are seeking it. So the conflict, the internal troubles, the problems, they are permanently with us. Since we don't know the source of this Amrit, Anand, which exists not externally but internally. The field where the life game is played is the man. And the nature of the mind is not known to us in completeness. We know only the moving mind. Going beyond the moving mind, Maharaj says you find solutions. Thir ghar baiso arjan pyare, Satgur tumre kaaj saware. So till as long as we don't find this state of being, we will always be wandering. We will always be troubled, and we will be oscillating between happiness and sorrow, since they exist together. Maharaj, we will recite the 21st Pauri, and I don't know if somebody is prepared to recite it today. I was not told. But we'll see. If there's no one, we will do something. And then after that, we go into what Guru Sahib is saying in this Pauri. Indrajit, is somebody going to recite the Pauri?
My Guruji, may I?
Ji, please.
So I have to recite Pauri 22nd.
Hanji, Hanji.
Ji. Guru Sahib Jio. Patala patal, lakh agasa agas, odak odak pal thake, ved kehen ik baat, sehs 18 kehen katiba, aslu ik taat, lekha hoy ta likhiye, lekha hoy vinas, nanak vada akhiye, ape jane aap. Vaheguru Ji.
Thank you. One of the ways in which ego sustains itself is by keeping a measure of things. We like to control, and that's how we feel we are. This is a necessity we have, and the more controlling we are, the more conflicted we are also. So we want to control our environment, and in that we feel that we are the ones who are doing everything. So the ego gets reinforced. The ego has a need to reinforce itself regularly. Otherwise, it feels uneasy. Similarly with creation, ego wants to measure everything. Ego wants to dictate that it has measured, it knows, and it is aware. And that happens even with the creation. We want to measure how many earths there are, how many galaxies there are, what the creation is. We want a measure of everything, and we want to be able to control it all. It's quite a shock to us all, maybe, that we don't control too much. Control is not something which the Creator gives away easily. And acceptance is the only control we have. We want to control, and then the other side, there is acceptance, that whatever is happening, we accept that. Of course, this is not to do with the physical plane. One error which we all make is that we conflict the spiritual plane with our physical plane. So acceptance, does it mean that I don't eat food? I eat it when I get it. I don't ask for it. Or does it mean I don't drive my car? I don't travel anywhere. I don't do anything. This acceptance is not a physical phenomena. It's an emotional and a spiritual phenomena. First acceptance of life is that life is not permanent, it is temporary. We don't accept that in our daily life. If we live in a way that we will not be here tomorrow, that changes everything for us. The other acceptance is that there is a creator who's created us. We are not the center of earth. We are not the center of creation. And the creator gives away his secret only when we go beyond our ego. The identity is formed when we take birth. So Siddhs asked Maharaj, Kit kit bid jag upje purkha, kit kit dukh binas jai. How does the world come about, Maharaj? And how do we go beyond sorrow? Maharaj says, Home vich jag upji purkha. If there is no ego, there will be no creation, no world the way we know it. So, in the identity formation, the world comes about for us all. And how does this happen? It happens when we take birth, we disconnect from our own source. We are connected to our source in the mother's womb, and we disconnect from it when we take birth. Guru Amar Das explains it, live chudki lagi trishna, maya amar vartaya. So the ego is a chance opportunity of the body, the senses, the mind coming together, living its own identity, living the physical life, living the life which is dictated to us, doing the best we can in it, and yet going beyond it, living aware of the mind. What is the mind? Maharaj explains that the mind has two different dimensions. One is the moving mind and one is the non-moving mind. Maharaj talks about a state of mind which is called the Unman. Unman, literal translation, means no mind. Now he says that the mind has Shakti and Shiv. Shakti is the Maya mind. Now ego needs Maya to sustain it. Otherwise the ego doesn't get sustained. So here in this 24-second Pauri, we try and control the creation and bring it within our measure. Everything which is measurable is Maya, is not real. That's one way of looking at Maya. Now here Maharaj has talked about the different planes of creation, celestial bodies or creation levels or levels and planes of creation. Now in his visit to Baghdad, when he sang this Pauri, he was literally cornered and they wanted to, the Dastagirs, the spiritual and temporal head of that area, wanted to kill him, because he was reciting one singing Shabad which is prohibited in Islam. And second, he talked about infinite planes of creation. Whereas Dastagir says he knew 7 or 8 of them. Islam, I think, recognizes 7. So there was a big conflict. Bhai Gurdas mentions this Pauri in his Vars, so we can go into it, and it is interesting to understand what transpired there. Ego wants to measure, ego wants to define, ego wants to control, ego wants to feel that it knows, and in so knowing, it is making it happen. But this 22nd Pauri has one definitive signature. The creation is not in the control of our ego. And the creator is not in the measure of things. All creation is infinite. And in trying to define the creation, we will lose ourselves but not be able to define it. A relationship between the ego and the creator is what spirituality is, Maharaj. We live the ego. And while living the ego, we forget the source from where it comes. And there the conflict happens. Like a tree forgets its roots, such is our state. But if we, while living the ego, connect to our source, connect to our inner being, connect to the inner sanctuary, the ghar, the home which we have within us, then we are connected to a source from where we come from. Maharaj talks about life and its understanding between two different paradigms, ego and Nam. They don't exist together. Either the ego will exist or Nam will exist. Nam is when we've lost ourselves to the Creator's being, when we give up our ego. Then we experience the Creator. Then this ego becomes a more permanent and non-transformative. It has merged with its Creator. And while merging with it, it still remains so. It's not separated. So when we look at that identity and we think of that identity, it comes to life. And it is everywhere. It's not in one or two places. It's everywhere. So wherever we do dhyan, there that ego or that identity will come about. In this way, the Sant, the Guru, lives forever, never dies, never takes birth, never wanders, and is focused. He or she, the focus is the source from where it comes. Our source is not in conflict, but we are in conflict. We are the ones who are not able to understand or fathom the reality of our identity. In this visit to Baghdad, Maharaj sang this couplet, Patala Patal, Lakh Agas Agas. Patal meaning many worlds, Agas meaning many skies. Basically many levels of creation. Lakh is a word which is a number actually. So it defines the earths and the skies. But it really means infinite. That creation is infinite. Immeasurable. Can't be defined. Can't be counted. Can't be brought into the measure of the ego. Patala patal, lakh agasa agas. Odak odak pal thake, ved kahin ek baat. And then he says that we want to find the end, odak. Odak odak, the end of this creation, we are all seeking. And even today science is seeking. The God particle is being searched for even today. They made the God particle. They have gone into the moment where the world was created. Odak odak pal thake, ved kahin ek baat. Here Maharaj is talking about Ved. Veds are related to Hinduism. And in the next line, Maharaj will talk about Katha, which is connected to Islam. At the time when Sahib was on earth, there were three different aspects in India of religion. One was Hinduism, Islam, and the Yogmat was considered separate. So we will find often all three of them being mentioned, but here Guru Sahib talks about two of them. Basically, he's trying to say that whichever religion or ideology or system is prevalent at that time is not able to find a measure of Creator. And they are saying one thing in unison. Odak odak pal thake. The end of creation, they search and they are tired, they can't find it. Ved kahin ek baat, and they say one thing. Sahas 18, Sahas meaning 1,000, 18 mean 18, 18,000. Sahas 18 kahin kateba. The followers of Islam, 18,000, learned. Kahin kateba aslu ik taat. They say, actually, there is only one Creator. Taat means that who has done dharan karna, one who has created everything, from whom or from where everything is created. Maharaj says, lekha hoye ta likhiye, lekha hoye vinas. If I'm able to write it, if I'm able to define it, then only I can do it. If there was any such writing, I would finish, but that writing will not be finished. Lekha hoy vinas. So the Creator can't be defined, can't be brought into measure, can't be brought into writing, can't be brought into defined parameters, can't be measured by ego. Maharaj says, Nanak vadda akhiye, aap jane aap. And Guru says that actually only the Creator himself knows what creation exactly is. What is its dimensions or directions or depth? What is its measure? We like to try and define it in our ego perspectives. And in this way, the many systems even today try and define it. Like in this body, the different religions are trying to define creation in different planes. Today, we find many people talk about spirituality and try and bring it into definitive direction, give it a defined definition. Like somebody talks about Kundalini and try and explain it, Dasam Dwar and try and explain it, or try and talk about how to do dhyan in words. These are all experiential aspects of creation. We can only experience them and know them. We can't know them without experiencing them. And often enough we don't experience them, and we try and define them, and we even teach them to others. This is a paradigm in which we often get stuck, and this is an ego paradigm. We try and convince ourselves we know something which we don't know. And these aspects of creation are actually can't be defined in words. They are not physical aspects. Most of them are subtle, indicative words which mean certain things. But they don't necessarily come in the paradigm of explaining what it is. If that was possible, then we would not need to experience them. So we talk about these experiences in try and convince ourselves we know them. Such is life. We try and fool ourselves, and we are the ones who get fooled. The journey in which this body was said in Baghdad, there was a Dastagir, a Pir Dastagir, who lived in that area. Maharaj sang this Shabad, and in singing so, he brought a presence there in that area where everything got impacted. The people were affected by what Guru Sahib sang. It affected their being. Now, I will go into this explanation about the Dastagir. Bhai Gurdas says, "Phir Baba gaya Baghdad nu, bahar jaye kiya asthana." And he went to Baghdad and stayed in the outskirts of Baghdad. There was a Gurdwara in Baghdad till very recently. I think there still is a Gurdwara there, but it is not in practice right now. There is a building where Guru Sahib visited. Ek Baba Akal Roop, Duja Rababi Mardana. It was Maharaj and Mardana. Both of them visited Baghdad. Ditti bang nivaz kar, sun saman hua jahanna. And in his singing, bang nivaz kar, he brought everybody to silence. His mind, the focus of his mind brought all other minds around him to silence in his singing. Sun mun nagri pai, dekh peer bhaya hairana. Peer Dastagir was shocked when he heard these. And he immediately inquired, Vekhe dhyan lagaye kar, ek fakir vadda mastana. And he tried to do dhyan. So when we do dhyan, the dhyan also has the ability to see. Lo and sut kare. So Bhai Gurdas says that he, in his dhyan, saw that there is a fakir who is a mastana who has come. Puchya phir ke dastagir, kaun fakir kiska gharana. Then he asked, who is this fakir? From which household he has come? From where has he come? Nanak kal vich aaya, Rab fakir eko pehchana. God and the fakir are one. The visit of Gurunanak to Baghdad. Dhart akash dur this jana. Now this brought about a conflict. And Dastagir actually ordered people to carry bricks and hit Guru Sahib and Mardana with them when they heard him sing. Then Maharaj talks about Puche Peer Takrar Kar, E Fakir Vadda Atai. Now Dastagir then asks Maharaj, says that this is a fakir who has a lot of power, lot of strength. Ethe vich Baghdad de vaddi karamat dikhlai. And he has shown his powers in Baghdad. In this dialogue between Dastagir and Guru Sahib, they ask Maharaj, Dastagir is talking about 7 planes of existence of spirituality, but you have talked about infinite. So who is right? One of you is wrong. Then Maharaj says, both of us are right. He knows about 7, so he has talked about 7. I know and I can see infinite, so I have talked about infinite. Patala akash lakh, udak pali, khabar sunai. He says that here this fakir has come and talked to us about infinite levels of creation, celestial bodies, celestial creation, which is infinite. This is a karamat. And Dastagir then asks Maharaj, Fir Dorayan Dastagir, Asi bhi vekha jo teh pai. And he requests Guru Sahib, can we see what you have seen? Normally, I don't think Maharaj would have been so philanthropic in his exchange. But in this occasion, Maharaj says, give me one of you who can be exposed to what I can show him. One of you can come forward and I will show him what I can see. And Dastagir offers his son. Naal lita beta peerda, akhi meet gaya Hawaii. This is the inner mind, Maharaj. When a guru has the ability to focus his mind with our mind and give it the exaltation needed to see what the guru is seeing, it doesn't transform us forever, but it affects us in the long run. It may take us lifetimes to come to that level of spirituality which Guru exposes us to, but it will be as a seed with us forever. So here the Dastagir's son is offered, and Maharaj focuses his mind, and in that he goes into his higher self. Lakh Akash Patal Lakh, Akh Firank which Sab Dikhlai. The flash of an eyelid, Maharaj shows him everything. How there are different planes of creation, how there is infinite creation, how there are different layers of creation. These are things which we don't see. And they actually exist beyond our Dasandwar. They are beyond the measure of a normal mind. And the exaltation this needs, the dhyan this needs, may take lifetimes for many of us. But in this one occasion, and one or two other occasions, the karamat of Gurunanak becomes hazir, present. There are 4 shabads in the Guru Granth which are known as the Babar Vani. Those are also prophetic shabads. They are, Guru Sahib has prophesied something which will happen. And we all know these shabads as the Babar Vani. Aaye 78, jaye 97, ek aur bhi utsi mard ka chela. He gives these dates that 78 he will come, and 97 he will go away, and one more person will come who will give Babar, who will defeat Babar. And that is what happened. These shabads were sung much before this all happened. There are not many such shabads, but there are a few occasions where these supernatural aspects come to the physical. In the Darbar Sahib, there is one nine floor building which is in the honor of one of the sons of Guru Hargobind Sahib Maharaj, Baba Atal, and it stands within the complex of Darbar Sahib. The story is that Baba Atal was a very spiritual sadhu in his young years, and he was playing with Mohan, his friend, and Mohan got bitten by a snake and he died. And Baba Atal said, I have to play with you, and you how can you die? And in saying so, Mohan came alive. Guru Hargobind Sahib got to know of this, and he reprimanded Baba Atal. And Baba Atal sat at that spot and took samadhi. He was 9 years of age. And that's why that building is of 9 floors. There are not many such events, but they are always there. We can argue, we can debate whether it happened, it's possible, not possible. I think in the argument we lose the point. The physical plane, the physical life we all live is not the entire life. There is much beyond this physical life. We know there is death, so there is something which goes beyond the physical life. We can argue whether it has its dimensions, it doesn't have its dimensions. But the experience of all this comes within our mind, man. Hai man shakti, hai man sev, hai man panj tat ka jiyo, hai man le jiyo, un man rahe, tat teen log ki baatein kahe. Now, here Maharaj is saying that this man is Maya, when it focuses on Maya. Hai man sev, and it is the creator when it focuses on the creator, on its own source. Hai man panj tat ka jiyo. And with these five senses, this mind comes to life. So here the mind is divided to the five senses. But what is the mind's nature in essence? Maharaj says, "Hai man leju." When we go beyond this defined man, the moving mind, when we've transcended it, un man rahe, then there is another form of the man, which he in direct translation says un man, no mind. He says when we go into this state, then we are aware and we go beyond the physical dimensions of creation. Hai man lejo, un man rahe, ta teen log ki baatein kahe. Maharaj, in the Guru Granth, the meeting of Creator is defined with Anand, with love, with sound and with light. They are four dimensions. Anand is happiness without reason, a state of being where there is happiness, a state of being where there is love. There is no reason for that love. It is. So we are in Sahaj, non-doing. Then Maharaj talks about it as light also, as Jyot. Man tu Jyot Sarup hai. Apna mool pachan. Know your root and you will know the light within us. And then Sahib talks about Anhadanad, the sound of silence. These are the four ways in which meeting of the Creator in us can happen. Maharaj, the interesting aspect in all this is that the mind is not entirely the defined mind, the senses mind we have. There is nothing wrong in living the senses mind, but to limit ourselves to the senses mind is the problem. In one of the questions in Sikh Gosht, the Siddhs have asked this, and I think I probably mentioned it the last time also, that when there is no body and mind, not jab hai hirday deh na hoti, tana man kaithe rehta. When there is no body and there is no hirday, no heart, then where does the mind remain? Hirday deh na hoti, udo taman sun raha bairagi. The Maharaj says, then it remains in sun. Sun is the source of the mind, Maharaj. And this sun word is used in the Siddh Gosht many times. Even when he asks this question, where does breath come from? The Maharaj says it comes from the sun. Tresu tangalwahi kahiye, teka kaun adharo. Maharaj says, pavan ka vasa, sagal nivasa, akal kala tarsoi. This is coming from the Sunavastha. From within our mind, there is a state of being where our source is, where the entire mind is coming from. We are exposed and we are celebrating the senses mind. But what if we correlate these senses mind? ऐसे मन को कोई खोजो पाई, तन छुट्टे मन कहाँ समाई? When the body goes, where does the mind go? What is the nature of the mind then? Here lies the answers that we are all troubled with. We are troubled with pain, we are troubled with sorrow, we are troubled with death. The nature of the mind gives us these answers to these questions. And we all know when Bhagat Kabir talks about death, he talks about a celebration. He doesn't talk about a sorrow. He doesn't talk about the end of everything. He says that those who have found this death and lived it, for them there is no death. Those who have known the nature of death, there is no death. So why we don't feel the same thing? One of the reasons is that we are in fear of pain. We avoid pain. And death is the ultimate pain. So when we know we are nearing death, we completely cut ourselves off from that experience. So we go through that experience in a coma state, so to say, without knowing what is really happening. That's the difference between us and a sadhu and a sant. He lives through the experience of death in an awakened state. He is already aware what happens in death because he has known the root of his mind. So if there is something which Bani teaches us, it tells us to go within and to seek that state of being. In one of the lines, Maharaj says, "Moond liye darwaze," shut the doors of the outside world. Baaj yale anhad baje, and within you the celebration of anhadanad is present. We are not aware of this anhadanad. We don't know how to get there. This is the tragedy. And this is the loss we all suffer from if we don't open these doors. We can live and do everything which we are doing and look inwards, and it will transform our journey. It transforms our life into a new meaning. Life will not be fearful. It will be nirbhau. And the only way it can be nirbhau is if it finds the love in Sahaj, the love which exists in our source, eternal love, where there is no death. If death remains a reality for us, there can be no state of being where there is no fear. We will be constantly living in fear. So how do we go about this? In the Pauris ahead, Maharaj is going to talk about the man in a more intense way, but he has already addressed this issue in the early stages of the Japji. Maybe we haven't understood the intensity with which Maharaj is delivering the message to us. Kiv satyara hoiye, kiv gude tutte paal. This is the inner state of the mind. How does the wall of falsehood fall away? The ego mind fall away. And once it falls, then only we know what is creation. Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Maharaj says that once we've understood the nature of our inner mind, only then the wall will fall, and only then this confusion will go away. Kahe re ban kho janjai, sarab nivasi sada lepa, tohe sang samai. Pop mad jo baas basat hai, mukar mahe jaise chai. तैसे ही हर बसे निरंतर कट ही खोजो पाई. He says, don't search for him outside. Like in a flower, the smell exists. In a mirror, the reflection exists. Similarly, within us, the Creator exists. Search for him within us. Bahar bhi tare ko janne. The energies of creation are the same. They are not differentiated by in and out. They are one. If we will feel the energy, we will not feel any demarcations. We will not feel any walls. We will feel a seamless flow of energy everywhere, within us and without us. Eh Gur Gyan Batai. This only the Guru can do for us. Jan Nanak bina appa chine. Without knowing our inner self, chine, appa chine, mite na pram ki kai. The deception will not go away. We will still feel there is an ego is a reality. We will still feel Maya is a reality. We will still feel death is a reality. Whereas none of them are absolute realities. There is no such thing as death, provided we've opened the doors of the inner mind. This will take energy. This will take time. Maharaj says, Gaviye suniye man rakhiye pao. Again and again, he is talking about the transformation of the mind, starting from sunnah, from absorbing the message of the Creator. absorbing the sound of silence, absorbing the Shabad. Karna, we will go ahead, in the podis ahead, we will find that Shabad transforms us from our source. Maharaj said this to us, Suniye maniye man kita pao. So the transformation of the mind has to happen from the jap, from the jap. Take the Mool Mantar, take any other Shabad. Sing it out loud. Vakhri Bani, say it out. Vakhri is when we say it. There are 4 Banis defined, Para, Pashanti, Madma. From the navel, from the throat. These are the different definitions of the sound. Maharaj says, sing it out. And your inner transformation starts happening. Give Shabad a chance in our lives. And Shabad is our source of going beyond the ego. Home Shabad Jalai. We visited the 22nd Bani of the Japji Maharaj, Dad. But the visitation will only happen for us when we have solved the mystery of our mind with the time. So in so doing, we need to go. In this, I end today's session. To forgive my errors. Thank you. Next week we are here again. We'll go on to all. Anything would like to say is feel free. With the katha. जी Waheguru. If you are on YouTube, you can write out your questions. Guru Simran will read it out and bring it here. If you are on Zoom, you can raise your hand. If there are no questions, then we can.
Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
Some people say that this universe is autonomous, like we are breathing and everything revolving and magnetic, and so. But in religion, we say that someone is behind it, the superpower energy. How to understand that?
Ultimate questions of life are answered only when we know our mind completely. We can have many answers to this and assume things. But it's always better to live our life in completeness and understand what the mind is. Go beyond our ego state, go beyond our thought mind. Find the Shabad and Dhyan, and then maybe we will have more answers. The rest are all assumptions. And assumptions don't help anyone. Mandeep ji has raised her hand. Anji.
Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
I want to know what exactly it means when you say don't look outwards, like don't search outwards. I understand that like even when we are doing Nama Abhyas, or if I'm trying to remember Guru Sahib, I may have his thoughts, or I may have some kind of photo or something. But when I'm doing ardas, or sometimes even while we moving around, we do ardas, and of course, I'm not able to do his dhyan. So what is that? Is it searching outwards, or it is like inwards? I'm confused in inwards and outwards.
Till we don't know dhyan, we will not know what is inward. Dhyan is thoughtless state. So we need to search that. It will take effort. It takes practice. It takes... The stillness of the mind is the vision of the mind. See what Guru Kabir says. That Tukdam karari jo karo, hazir hazur khuda hai. The difference between knowing that God is living energy and what question Indrajit has asked, assuming about it, is the stillness of the mind. He says, Tukdam karari jo karo, hazir hazur khuda hai. Then again he says, Thir kar baiso har jan pyare. Find that mind which is completely stable. Sadgur tumre kaaj sabare. And there you will find all the answers. In the 38th Pauri he will say, Eran mat vedat yaar. So Maharaj, the finding the still, and we do find it, by the way, we all find it. But we miss it. Maybe we don't realize we found it. Because when we do Shabad Dhyan, this state will come to us. Maybe fleetingly, maybe a few seconds. But the more practice we do for it, the more easy it becomes to transcend thought. Thought is our curtain. Thought is our wall of falsehood where we can't see the creation's reality. And then only our senses define us. Eman panj tat ka jiyo. When we take birth, the senses come in our body, the mind becomes expressive outward, and that pulls us. And then we live this outward mind only. But the thought mind, and beyond the thought mind, there is a man, which is our source man. Unman. In Japanese Buddhism, in Zen Buddhism, I like one word which they use. Zazen. Just sitting. Just sit and give up all your thoughts. Which is exactly what Bani says. Moond liye darwaze, baaj ali anhad baaje. Shut the doors of the outside world and go inward. So one way is you watch your thoughts. Don't catch them. A thought has come, I need to go to meet my friend. Especially when I will do meditation, all these thoughts will come. I will catch the thought. I have to go. But I don't catch the thought. It comes and goes. Doesn't bother me. So what if I don't catch these thoughts? I don't think these thoughts are mine. They are just coming and going. Then what happens to the mind? That's an interesting practice to do. The other is the use of breath. In the Sikh Gurus, Maharaj has defined 4 different parameters. One is breath, one is sexual energy, one is dhyan, and one is shabad. He talks about these in different phases of the Sikh Gurus. Bindana Rakhyo. That you don't know your breath, you don't use your breath. So when we indulge in this exercise of going to the inner mind, all these aspects become our tools. And most of all, Shabad. Shabad, Surt, and Swas. These are the 3 ways. The joining of these 3, the meeting of these 3 is Samadhi. And it's naturally happening. We don't have to do anything to happen. We are actually distracting ourselves from our inner samadhi all the time by pulling our mind outward. Maharaj.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maharaj. Harneet.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
Oh, Vaheguru Ji. Hanji. Hello? Harneet is muted. Please unmute yourself, Harneet. Hello?
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ।
Hanji.
ਵੀਰ ਜੀ, my voice is coming.
Yes, I can hear you now, Hanji.
ਵੀਰ ਜੀ, my question is related to this ego thing only, which we have discussed in today's session. A bit longer question, please excuse me for that, but I want to need clarification and elaboration on that part. Actually, by now attending so much of sessions and conceptually, it is understood at superficial level that like the feeling of I and me, which we call it as an ego, is only an illusion and not a reality. Plus, there are so much of awareness programs going on social media, as wellness retreats across the world. But still, I mean, the WHO data the other day I was saying, it reveals that the mental illness and the psychological problems are at all-time high. Personally, if I admit that, I'll say that I have personally experienced high level of anxieties, even the panic attacks, and in spite of all these knowings in these sessions, when the testing situations comes actually, then that fear actually hijacks the awareness. And that pull is so strong that although conceptually it is clear that we are suffering of our own imagination only, but coming out of that ego pit becomes so much difficult at that point in time. Also, it is, you have suggested me, Virji, that transformation has to come from the jap, and Shabad is the only source of going beyond the ego. But in that situation, I mean, like watching your thoughts, disassociation with thoughts, breath watching when the pull is so strong, becomes so much difficult, because I personally feel that I get deceived by the ego at that point in time, which is so much powerful. So I just want to know, I mean, how to calm down in that situation when even reciting the Shabad is not helping out.
So, first question is I think that's the one question, that at that time when there is an overwhelming emotional surge of energy, then everything gets swept away. That is true. That can happen to most of us.
Very true, Virji.
But if you prepare the river for overflowing, you dam it, then you find less and less incidents of overflowing energy. So when we have moments of calmness, That's when we need to work on the mind. And don't worry about the fact that I got swept away, the energy came. Don't make it defining for yourself. Don't let it define you. It can happen. Get up and walk again. You got knocked off one day. Example of Muhammad Ali. He used to get knocked off. His strategy was that I will tire my opponent out by getting knocked off. For many rounds I will take beating. But I will not fall. I will get up again. Life is about those of us who don't give up. Life will knock off all of us at some stage or the other, including me. But that is not what defines us. That we must know. We get up and start walking again. If we have our prayer and focus within us, and if that intensity defines us in our calmer moments, then the surge moments will keep reducing as we go along. The other aspect is that if this has become very consistent for a long period, then maybe we need to explore medicative help, because sharing is one tool where the mind gets. So we need to maybe explore medication also, if that needs to happen. It's all right. First thing is don't worry too much about it. Don't start defining yourself up with it. Don't start saying I am like that. And the grip this anxiety has over you will keep reducing. The reason anxiety is gripping us like this is because I'm allowing it and defining myself as anxious. In the calmer moments, just relax, let it go. And in the anxious moments, also let it go. Let it come and let it go. Don't hold on to it so much. Try it, let's see. The other way is that there are other tools we can use. And breathing is one important tool. So use the Vaheguru Shabad with your breath. That may be the way forward for you. Like a medicine, you do it every day. Sant Attar Singh Ji defines this in his Santeja Singh wrote the biography of Sant Attar Singh. And he explains this Vaheguru Shabad Abhyas. You try and do that. Breath and Vaheguru. Use that before you go into meditation. And then go into meditation of Shabad after that. Try it. Ji Maharaj.
Thank you, Vijay.
Maharaj. Vaheguru.
Viji,
Hanji.
few days back, there was Adi Utsav in Delhi. And I went to that and met some Adivasis from all over the India. I talked to them at least, I think, around 45 minutes to 1 hour. They had a lot of problems. They were suffering from government, they were suffering from corporate and everything. But at last they said, but we are happy. They had so many problems that corporates are coming, mining problem, government problem, exploitation problem. And they have very less sources. And they said that we worship nature. That's it. We don't know any god or deity, anything else. And they invited me to come and stay with them for 15 to 20 days. I think urbanization and all this lifestyle, there is something in this.
If you study the lifestyle of Adivasi, there is a lot of psychology built into it. One is he is very close to earth. He sleeps on the ground. So the rhythm of the earth absorbs his negativity. If you note that an Adivasi will not sleep directly, he will first do some kind of song and dance at night before he sleeps. He is barefoot, so his foot is directly connected to the earth. If they do song and dance, in that the negativity gets absorbed. Being close to nature, the rhythm of nature supports them. The ego doesn't get evolved to that degree. Problem is the ego. Hame dirgh rog hai. That's our bigger problem. And yes, the more mind-centered we are, the less heart-centered we are, the more conflicted we become. There's no doubt about that. So if you live a life of an Adivasi, which you can practically maybe not live, but you can try and live it for a few days, may help you understand the psychology and how the mind is brought to rest. Ji. They also don't have that kind of ambition also. They are not looking at buying a 2 crore rupees car. They are not looking at making a house with 4 stories. They don't have that ambition. So the mind is not running like that. The energy is more contained. It's not external. They are more within. So they are naturally meditative. That is how all life was earlier. Because we used to also be in darkness. We never lived in this magnetic fields. This light which we live in, there's a lot of magnetic field in it. Earlier we used to sleep when the sun set and wake up with the sunrise. So there was a rhythm. The sleep was more deep, more intense. Now our sleep is disturbed, our waking is disturbed, our mind is disturbed. Ji Maharaj.
Ji.
Maharaj. So we can do the Anand Sahib. Anudeep will do Anand Sahib.
जी
Maharaj.